Facial expression spotting, a crucial aspect of nonverbal communication, involves identifying periods of facial expressions in videos. Despite progress in developing efficient algorithms, challenges persist, particularly in detecting subtle motions in micro-expressions and distinguishing between macro and micro-expressions. This paper proposes an efficient framework for facial expression spotting, addressing these challenges. The framework consists of three components. First, a sliding window-based multi-resolution optical flow (SW-MRO) feature is proposed to amplify motion information while mitigating head movement problems. The window length is tailored to perceive complete micro-expressions and distinguish between macro and micro-expressions. Second, SpotFormer, a multi-scale spatio-temporal transformer, is introduced to capture spatial relationships and temporal variations among different facial parts across frames from the SW-MRO features. SpotFormer employs a facial local graph pooling (FLGP) operation to extract multi-scale facial spatial features and learning-based temporal downsampling to extract multi-scaled temporal features. Third, supervised contrastive learning is introduced to learn a finer discriminative feature representation for effective differentiation of various expression types. The proposed framework addresses the limitations of previous methods, which either employed traditional methods with handcrafted features or deep learning-based methods that failed to effectively reveal subtle motions in micro-expressions. The framework's effectiveness is validated through extensive experiments on SAMM-LV and CAS, two datasets, outperforming state-of-the-art models, particularly in micro-expression spotting. The contributions of this paper include the proposal of SW-MRO, a sliding window-based multi-resolution optical flow feature, and SpotFormer, a novel transformer-based framework for capturing spatial relationships and temporal variations at multiple scales. The introduction of supervised contrastive loss for discriminative feature representation learning is also a key contribution. The paper provides a comprehensive overview and comparison of related literature, particularly with regard to temporal action localization. Recent advancements in deep learning have led to significant improvements in facial expression spotting (FEs) and temporal action localization (TAL). However, existing optical flow-based methods for FEs still struggle to accurately detect micro-expressions (MEs) due to their subtle motions. To address this issue, a novel approach is proposed, which extracts a sliding window-based multi-resolution optical flow feature to effectively magnify these subtle motions and enhance the distinction between macro-expressions, MEs, and MEs. The proposed framework consists of three modules: data preprocessing, probability estimation, and post-processing. The data preprocessing module calculates the multi-resolution optical flow features using a sliding window approach. The probability estimation module employs a novel graph-based transformer, called SpotFormer, which takes optical flow features as input for frame-level apex or boundary probability estimation. The post-processing module aggregates the probability maps from all frames and generates expression proposals. The transformer architecture has shown great success in computer vision and natural language processing tasks. In this paper, the authors explore the potential of the graph-based transformer for FEs and introduce SpotFormer, which is designed to enhance the accuracy of expression spotting. The self-attention mechanism in SpotFormer allows the model to focus on critical features and ignore irrelevant information, while the long-range relation modeling enables efficient capture of context information across both spatial and temporal dimensions. Contrastive learning has proven to be effective in various domains, including computer vision and natural language processing. The authors propose a supervised contrastive learning approach to recognize the boundary between different types of expressions. By establishing contrasts between ME and ME frames, as well as between ME frames and neutral frames, the model can acquire more discriminative feature representations, ultimately reducing the misclassification rate. The proposed framework is designed to detect all potential ME and ME intervals within a video, spotting the onset and offset frames, as well as assigning the expression type for each interval. The framework is evaluated on a benchmark dataset, and the results demonstrate its effectiveness in FEs. The proposed SpotFormer model is designed for accurate frame-level probability estimation in facial expression spotting. The model takes as input a compact sliding window of optical flow features, which are obtained by computing the motion information between consecutive frames. The optical flow features are then processed through a series of steps, including graph node embedding, temporal positional embedding, spatial facial embedding, and multiscale spatio-temporal attention. The graph node embedding step treats each graph node as a patch and uses a trainable linear projection to embed each patch into d dimensions. The temporal positional embedding step uses learnable parameters to retain temporal positional information. The spatial facial embedding step introduces learnable facial part tokens to the graph nodes, enabling the model to understand the overall spatial facial structure without requiring complex edge connections. The multiscale spatio-temporal attention block is designed to extract both coarse and fine feature representations across different scales. The block consists of a spatial graph attention layer, a temporal node attention layer, and a multiscale feature learning module. The spatial graph attention layer models the spatial correlations among all graph nodes in each frame, while the temporal node attention layer captures temporal dependencies among graph nodes across frames. The model architecture simultaneously models spatio-temporal relations, employing a spatial graph attention layer followed by a temporal node attention layer in each spatio-temporal attention block. The model then aggregates information through spatial and temporal downsampling to generate high-level features. Finally, the model uses a fully connected layer to generate the probability map corresponding to each frame, which contains the probabilities of being an onset frame, apex frame, offset frame, expression frame, or neutral frame. The optimization tasks are divided into two binary classification tasks and a three-class classification task for different types of frames, using focal loss as the optimization method. To enhance the model's discriminative ability, supervised contrastive learning is introduced to minimize the divergence between predicted class probabilities and ground truth class labels, while also considering distributional differences among various classes. This is particularly useful for distinguishing between micro-expressions, MEs, and macro-expressions, MEs, near the boundary, where duration and intensity can be challenging to distinguish. The paper presents a novel approach to micro-expression, ME, spotting in videos, leveraging a deep learning model named SpotFormer. This model is designed to capture subtle motions present in MEs and alleviate the impact of irrelevant motions. The authors employ a supervised contrastive learning strategy to improve the model's ability to recognize the boundary between different types of expressions. They also utilize a post-processing method to refine the spotting results. The authors compare their method with state-of-the-art methods on two datasets, SAMM-LV and CAS, Me2, and achieve significant improvements in overall performance, particularly in ME spotting. The results demonstrate the effectiveness of the proposed modules, including the use of sliding window-based multi-resolution optical flow features and facial local graph pooling operation for multiscale spatial feature learning. The paper also includes an ablation study to evaluate the proposed modules, showing that each module contributes to the overall performance improvement. The introduction of the sliding window-based multi-resolution optical flow features enhances the extracted motion features, leading to a significant improvement in ME recognition. The facial local graph pooling operation further improves the representational capabilities of the model. Qualitative comparisons between different optical flow extraction strategies are provided, illustrating the superiority of the proposed approach in capturing subtle motions present in MEs. Overall, the paper presents a novel and effective method for ME spotting, which could have applications in various fields such as psychology, security, and human-computer interaction. The proposed model, SpotFormer, is a multi-scale spatio-temporal architecture designed for facial expression spotting. The model's effectiveness is validated through a comprehensive comparison of multiple model architectures, including Seq-ST, Parallel-ST, and Simul-TS. These variants differ in their approach to learning spatio-temporal features, with Seq-ST learning spatial features first, followed by temporal features, Parallel-ST parallelizing temporal learning across different spatial scales, and Simul-TS prioritizing temporal node attention first. The experimental results, presented in Table 3, demonstrate that SpotFormer, Simul-ST, achieves the best overall performance on the SAMM-LV and CAS (2) datasets. This is attributed to its ability to simultaneously learn spatial and temporal information, enabling a comprehensive capture of both spatial and temporal relationships. In contrast, Seq-ST, which encodes spatial information into a feature vector and then learns temporal information, performs similarly to a general TAL architecture. The results also highlight the importance of multi-scale feature fusion, as PARL-ST, which considers multi-scale feature fusion without adding additional parameters, performs worse than PARL-ST with added parameters. This suggests that redundant information can be harmful for expression spotting if not learned properly. Furthermore, the study explores the impact of temporal window size on the model's performance, with the results indicating that a temporal window size of 17 frames is optimal for accurately evaluating one frame. This demonstrates the effectiveness of the core idea of perceiving complete micro-expressions, MEs, and distinguishing between macro-expressions, MEs, and MEs. The introduction of supervised contrastive learning is also investigated, with the results showing an improvement of 6.0%, 16.3% on the SAMM-LV and CAS (2) datasets. The optimal value for the hyperparameter lambda is found to be 0.005, beyond which the introduction of supervised contrastive learning starts to impact standard classification, leading to a decrease in spotting accuracy. The paper presents a novel framework for facial expression spotting, FEs, that leverages a SW-MRO feature to magnify motion information and alleviate head movement issues. This feature is designed to perceive complete micro-expressions and discern differences between macro-expressions and micro-expressions. The authors also introduce SpotFormer, a graph-based transformer that learns multi-scale spatio-temporal relationships from SW-MRO features for frame-level probability estimation. In SpotFormer, they propose FLGP operations for downsampling facial graph structured data to achieve multi-scale spatial feature fusion. Additionally, supervised contrastive learning is integrated into SpotFormer to enhance the discriminability between different types of expressions. The proposed framework is evaluated on the SAMM-LV and CAS (2) datasets, demonstrating its effectiveness in micro-expression spotting. The results show that the model achieves a recall rate of approximately 0.5 in macro-expression spotting and 0.4 in micro-expression spotting, with an exception for micro-expression spotting on the CAS (2) dataset where it achieves a high precision score but a low recall score due to data scarcity and imbalance. Qualitative results are also provided, showcasing both ground truth expression intervals and detected expression proposals to demonstrate the effectiveness of the model. The paper concludes by discussing limitations, such as performance under conditions with fewer available micro-expressions, and outlines future work aimed at exploring more efficient methods for extracting robust motion features and developing an end-to-end framework for FEs. The authors present a comprehensive review of existing literature on facial action unit-based deep learning frameworks for spotting macro and micro expressions in long video sequences. They cite various studies that have employed different approaches, including attention mechanisms, transformers, and contrastive learning. The authors also highlight the importance of post-processing techniques for temporal action detection. The literature review covers a wide range of topics, including facial landmark detection, motion estimation, and action recognition. The authors mention the use of spatial temporal specialized transformers for skeleton-based action recognition and the application of feature pyramid networks for object detection. They also discuss the use of multi-scale vision transformers and graph-stacked hourglass networks for 3D human pose estimation. The authors also provide an overview of various datasets used for facial expression analysis and video understanding, including the CAS (2) database and the SAMM-LV videos dataset. They mention the use of decoupled weight decay regularization and principal component analysis for dimensionality reduction. The authors' research interests and backgrounds are also presented. Yicheng Deng is a PhD student at Osaka University, with research interests in facial expression analysis and video understanding. Hideaki Hayashi is an associate professor at the Institute for Datability Science, Osaka University, with research interests in neural networks, machine learning, and medical data analysis. Hajime Nagahara is a professor at the Institute for Datability Science, Osaka University, with research interests in computational photography and computer vision. The author's expertise and research backgrounds suggest that they are well equipped to tackle the challenges of facial action unit-based deep learning frameworks for spotting macro and micro expressions in long video sequences. Their comprehensive review of existing literature provides a solid foundation for their research, and their discussion of various techniques and datasets highlights the complexity and nuance of this research area.